My name is Chris Farrell. After 7 days waiting for a new episode, I have come home with only one goal: to podcast about Arrow. But to do so, I can't be the explicit podcaster I once was. To save our listeners' ears, I must be someone else. I must become something else.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 389 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on Sunday, January 26th, 2020. I'm Chris Farrell. Joining me, as per usual, one Willie Nelson.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. For you audio listeners, I was being my normal weird self. Carry on.
It's true. For those of you guys that are catching this live or listening at a later date, you're probably going, this is a very different intro than normal. Well, like I was telling Willie in the pre-show, with one episode left of the television show Arrow, it is nearly the end of the Starling Tribune as it goes on hiatus for who knows when, because it may come back if more cool Arrow content comes out. But the final episode of Arrow is going to coincide with the final episode of the Starling Tribune. So it was my way to self-promotionally, but more just kind of give a good send-off to a show that I've enjoyed being on for 7 years? Yeah, I started in season 2, so 7 years. It's been a good run. And
Has it? It's Arrow.
Well, okay, so parts of it have been a good run. Let me rephrase. There were a couple seasons that were not good. Not good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I dropped off during the first season of the show, and I just couldn't. Oh no, this rich girl has drug problems. Oh no. Wait, it's not heroin? It's not meth?
They made up their own drugs.
Oh, I mean, that's where I was like, okay, I can't follow.
I thought you were going to go with a woo-wee for a second there, like Mr. Poopy Butthole. I was disappointed.
Woo-wee!
Woo-wee, Willie!
I thought mine was better.
It's entirely possible. I will tell you this, the best season of Arrow was actually season 2, so you were pretty close to hitting the best season where they actually brought in Deathstroke as a bad guy. It was delightful.
Ooh, but so wait, what? Wasn't he the bad guy from the very beginning? Like they showed him in the first season.
So it was Deathstroke in the present day as the villain in Starling City. It was actually really well done, and Manu Bennett was fantastic in the role.
You mean Wade Wilson?
Slade Wilson. Wade
I
Wilson
know.
is Deadpool.
That was the joke. That's the joke.
He's the merc with a mouth.
I mean, I got a mouth on me, or at least from what I'm told. A pretty one at that. Pregnant pauses. I love them.
Well, we'll edit most of that out in the audio version, but yes, the awkward silence as I'm not sure how to respond to Willie's assertion he does have a pretty mouth.
Which will ruin the pregnant pause joke.
I'm sorry, Willie.
Are you? Don't lie to me. You're not really sorry.
Willie, I thought you would do everything you could to avoid pregnancy, let alone a pregnant pause.
Not everything.
Oh, what have I done? What have I done?
Because, I mean, what don't Willie use?
Well, we'll get into that a later part of the show. But you guys might have noticed if you're watching live that our little tri-screen's only got 2 folks on it. And if you're listening to the audio version, you've only heard Willie and myself. Anthony is away. He is traveling this weekend. So you got just the 2 of us. And I'm sure Willie's going to start a song now about just the 2 of us.
No, I got nothing.
I thought you might have a little bit of
I don't know. Lots of, what song that has two people. There's 2 people and there's a song. What's this song? I don't know.
The 2 of us.
Just the tip between us. It never ends in that. Just the tip between us.
Oh, damn it. Oh, damn it.
Parody means it's free to use.
I should have known better is what it comes down to.
That was kind of like the NBC thing. Free to use. Meow. That's the sound of a peacock, right? Meow.
I honestly have no idea what a peacock sounds like.
Well, come on over, baby. I'll show you. And that was the awkward one. I'm not gonna lie. So, da.
I, I don't even know where to go with that.
Well, I'm sure you got somewhere else to. Thing. Oh. Can we talk about something that I'm super excited about that I completely forgot all about, and then remembered, and then forgot about it again, and then remembered again, and then probably forgot again, and now remember finally for the third time again?
Yeah, tell us about it.
One of my favorite graphic novels. It was only 6 volumes. It was Lock and Key. Did you ever read that, Chris?
I did not, but Naki
What
has
is
told
wrong
me I
with you?
really need to read it. She was a big fan of it.
And I am too. I saw it in the comic book store, and I got the first volume from remembering from her saying something about it. I was like, wasn't this the one that she was talking about? Let me just grab this. And greatness was achieved. I went out and finally got all 6 volumes because they're not, not too much of an investment for time wise. And it's written by Joe Hill, who is the son of Stephen King, and he definitely got his father's writing style. You can definitely feel it from the writing.
How did Naki put it though? He can actually do an ending, unlike Stephen King, is what she had expressed at some point in time.
That I don't want to put that comparison for myself because I don't think I know enough to say that for me. So I'm not gonna say those words. Naki can say those words.
Those were Naki's words, in fact. I'm not attributing them to one Willie Nelson.
And I'm also not trying to say that she's wrong. I'm just saying I don't know enough to say yay or nay to
Fair.
that arena. But Lock and Key, that's lock with an E at the end. I forgot all about it and remembered all that. Netflix has made a live action and it's coming out February 7th. So I'm really excited about that.
You gonna binge watch it, or are you gonna just split it up into decent chunks so it's not all gone at once?
What the hell do you think?
You're gonna binge watch the hell out of it.
Goddamn right. Toss a coin to your key. I don't know where to go from there.
Toss a coin to your Willie.
Well, I was trying to put lock and key in it, but yeah. Toss your key into your lock. There you go. Why didn't I think about that first? That makes a lot more sense and flows.
Door of plenty. Whoa.
Ooh. Oh, magic of plenty, because that's what
there you go.
That's kind of what it's about.
You know, they finally just now put the soundtrack for The Witcher out so that people could legitimately get it. It took them like a month to realize that everybody loves this song. Why don't we put the soundtrack out?
All right. So you remember you sent me like a link to finding that song on Spotify?
So what I will tell you that I found out just recently is that was somebody that just BS somehow uploaded it to Spotify calling it a podcast.
Yeah, I kind of figured that because whenever I try to like restart it, because usually my vehicle, I can just press, the skip button, will skip to the end. It only went back like 10 seconds. So I'm like, all right. But here's also the other thing. It went away from my playlist.
I think
because I added it to my main, and then it came back up, and now it's gone again.
Well,
how did that happen?
I don't know. It's how Spotify manages their music, but supposedly it is available on Spotify, Apple Music, and I want to say Google Play Music, but I'm not 100% sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, I understand it being taken off, but how did it come back? And then under the same thing on my playlist from the same thing I saved on it after being taken away and it being put back on. That was what I was curious about. Toss a coin. There it is. Song. Toss a coin to your Witcher.
It is on Spotify and Apple Music right now. It shows.
Oh shoot! Who does it though? There's a couple of them. I don't want to listen to them.
It is by Sonia Belousova, I believe is where the credit goes to. Is what they're showing in this article over on Engadget.com.
Oh, I got Samuel Kim and Black Griffin, and then Pete Hollins is a different one. I'll figure this out.
I can send you a link to the actual album if you want. I found that. There you go, Willie. I'll send you the album onto our ATGN chat. Now you've got it. You'll be able to toss a coin to your Witcher.
Oh, I've already been tossing a coin to my Witcher, if you know what I mean.
The problem is this isn't on the music service that I subscribe to, so that's disappointing.
Add to playlist. The Momix, which is my main playlist, which has such recent additions as Vegeta's Serenade by Starbomb. Good song.
I lied. Toss a Coin to Your Witcher is available on Google Play Music as well, which is the music service that I use. And that would mean also YouTube Premium or whatever their music version is would have.
Well,
it
it
as
doesn't
well.
matter because it's now on my main playlist,
It's on my
which
playlist
also
too.
includes You by The Hue, which I'm sorry if I'm getting this wrong because I didn't do any research, but it looks like they're Mongolian. They're a Mongolian metalish genre band.
I have no
metalish,
idea.
more like harder rock metal. And also She's So High by I can never remember who this is because I look at him like I don't recognize this. Tall Bachman. You know the song She's So High.
I believe so.
You know, like Cleopatra or Joan of Arc.
And
I'm
they
breaking my
hit a lot
stride.
of high notes on there.
Nothing's
too.
gonna break my stride.
Hey.
Nothing's gonna bring me down or slow me down.
Nothing at all. I'm just glad
But
that we
you
can
don't know that one? You don't know Break My Stride?
I'm just glad we can all toss coins to The Witcher now. It only took him a month to get it available. He's giving me a dirty look, audio listeners.
I'm disappointed in you.
So you're not the first person to tell me that, nor are you the last.
I figured.
You'll be more disappointed in me when we get to what I'm into at the end of the show.
Oh no, more Mass Effect news that you're gonna blindly buy, right?
Nah, that was just... Oh, what you're talking about is the rumor they're going to remaster the entire trilogy, right? I don't care.
No, I just made that up. Because you like Mass Effect and the last couple have not been anything.
Rather, there is a... Well, the last one, Mass Effect 3 was good. It's just people weren't happy with the ending.
Well, I never played it, so was it really that good if it didn't get me to play it?
I'm sure, yes, because everyone
That's
has
Schrodinger's game, everybody.
I don't know.
Is a game good or bad if you don't play it?
Are those kind of RPGs games you like? That would determine...
Both at the same. I played the first two, so you tell me.
So why didn't you play the third one? What was your reasoning?
No money at the time.
That's fair. Why haven't you played it now? It's like
and
$7.
Don't have a care to go return to it.
I will buy it for you if you want to play it.
No, I don't.
I will send you the PSN bucks right now to buy it off this eShop.
How about this? You beat Fallen Order first, which will be another 3 to 4 months if we're lucky.
It's true. I mean, I did turn my Xbox on again this week, but I'm not playing Fallen Order, which is why you'll be disappointed in me.
Have you played any more than the last time we talked?
No, I haven't played any more than the last time we talked about it.
Yeah, I thought you said you got like 4 or 5 hours into it, and I found out you're still just on the tutorial little planet.
I got off of that planet, and then I'm on.
Oh, you got off on it?
Yeah, I did. But then I'm on the next planet where it's my first dungeon I have to explore or whatever.
Okay, what's it called?
I don't remember. I haven't played the game in a month and a half.
Oh God, I can't remember. I've been playing it, but because I also got The Witcher. I'm waiting to play The Witcher because Fallen Order is going to take a much quicker time to beat.
Yes. Did you get The Witcher 3 with all the DLC and stuff on it too?
Yeah, it was the complete edition.
It's 100+ hours to play through all of that. Is what? My wife
I
has told
believe
me.
that. Oh. And I feel bad because I need to go back and beat Dragon Quest XI because it's just a great game, and it's so long, guys. I don't know if I'm close to the end or not because I already put in over 100 hours.
Well, in regards to Witcher and its length, my wife in her most recent playthrough, where she hasn't beaten it yet, is up to 140 hours. So it takes a while. That's on the Switch version. She's also played it multiple times on the Xbox.
My buddy should be getting his Switch version. Well, if the thing runs today, I don't know. If it does, he should be getting it. So he's waiting to get on his Switch.
I would caution your friend that it does not run very well docked at times.
Are you saying it runs better in handheld mode?
It doesn't. It doesn't slow down and churn as much in handheld mode.
Nintendo, figure it out.
I think it's trying to push more pixels for the big screen. It tries to do closer to a 1080p picture or something like that. And then it just chokes itself down because.
Well, I mean, Switch. Come on, man. I like you, but you're. This is 2020 now, guy. Come on, you should be able to run The Witcher. Like, I mean, that came out last. Wait, was that come out last? No, it
2015,
came out.
I thought, is when The Witcher came out.
Okay, so it is current gen. What am I
Yeah.
talking
It
about?
is current gen. It is one. It's one of the ones that they did some pretty cool stuff on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X when they came out for upgraded visuals. Like it has 4K
Oh,
HDR visuals on the.
it does.
I know it does on Xbox One X. I'm pretty sure it does on PS4 as well.
Well, I haven't noticed. I know Fallen Order is HDR and 4K on PS4 Pro because it pops up on my TV every time it does. It's HDR. I'm like, yay!
I'm looking right now to double check.
Oh,
HDR is a very nice enhancement for The Witcher 3 on PS4, just as it was on Xbox One. So yes, you do get HDR for Witcher 3.
ooh, I did something right, I guess, or they did something. I'm just gonna claim it. I did something right for once.
Well, say what you want. CD Projekt Red's pretty good about putting out good games and then keeping them good after they come out. That's why I was not one of those people that got really cranky when we heard that Cyberpunk was getting delayed. Cyberpunk, what is it, 2077? It got delayed, and there's a bunch of people like, "Oh my god, I'm so mad!" I'm like, "Why?"
It got delayed to 2077.
Yeah, really. But I mean, it was in that mass. It was in that mess of they also delayed Avengers. They delayed Final Fantasy VII again, which I never believed we're actually going to get. And then something
Wait,
else
wait,
I'm
wait, what?
forgetting. Final Fantasy VII and Avengers from Square got delayed.
I know, but no. Are you saying you don't think we're ever going to get Final Fantasy VII?
I think so I do think we'll actually get it. I was more playing on the joke that the Final Fantasy VII remake is something they had teased for how many years before it finally came to fruition.
You know what? That's fair.
That's fire.
That's fair.
That's fire.
You don't need your patronage.
But you do. You know what you do need?
What?
Some news of the week.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
Personally, I thought that was one of my better tosses right there to set it up, but Willie didn't seem to agree, so I'm sorry, Willie.
Oh, I mean, it was perfectly fine. It just wasn't. I didn't think it was extraordinary.
That's fair.
It didn't catch me. It didn't bite me on my ass like a good Saturday night.
Oh dear. So we are on to the news of the week. It's that part of the show where we run down what's in our minds some of the most interesting geeky and or nerdy news to have popped up here in the past week or so. We'll run down some news, and then we have another segment for you guys that we haven't done for a while that I think you're gonna enjoy.
Well, I enjoy it.
I assume you will enjoy it.
All right, I just show up and talk every week, man.
I mean,
That's my job.
That is your job indeed.
I think I do it all right enough. I make a fool of myself.
It's satisfactory.
I'm here in a wife beater, man. People can see my hairy chest all over the place.
Oh, you like showing off your hairy chest.
Let me shake my titties.
For those that are not watching the video, he was strutting a little bit there.
Well, sure.
So
Not the wordage I would use, but I'll allow it.
Preening, presenting yourself, something like that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
All right, we'll go with that. I just realized. All right, so let's get into the news. The news that I had. We're going to talk about one of Willie's favorite subjects here. Willie, you ready to talk about some Star Wars?
Oh, I mean, I got to fill in some air, don't I?
That's true. So I don't know if you guys had seen this week. It was announced that the Disney Plus series Star Wars Obi-Wan delayed indefinitely, and of course,
ooh, indefinitely.
So I don't think it's as bad as that makes it sound once we start going into it. And if you'll remember, the week before that, there were a lot of rumors that the series was going to be shut down because of problems between Disney and Ewan McGregor and things like that. That is not necessarily what we found out here, but what we did find out is the project had a person by the name of Hossein Amini writing, and director Chow slated to direct, or Deborah Chow slated to direct. She directed an episode of The Mandalorian, still on board to direct. However, the script writer has been canned. Sources told The Hollywood Reporter that the scripts, of which only 2 were written, and the story became an issue, and the entire package was then jettisoned. Lucasfilm is now on the hunt for a new writer to pen the series. At the same time, sources say the project might be being reconfigured from 6 episodes to 4. There is a rumor that names like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are being rumored to come in and help put together the script for this show. You know, the same guys that did The Mandalorian, which, pretty good show. We don't know the exact reasons why the scripts became an issue. One of the rumors going around, one source said that the Kenobi story followed similar ground as The Mandalorian, seeing the Jedi Master lending a protective hand to a young Luke and possibly even a young Leia, perhaps mirroring how the Mandalorian took Baby Yoda under his protective custody. So if that's the case, I can see why they might, yank that back because you don't want two
Similarities.
stories that are almost the exact same.
You know what I really want to show about
What's that?
with Obi-Wan? I want to know what he does when he's, a ghost and not being shown to somebody. What are they doing then?
In the afterlife?
Yeah, they just saying chilling around, talking to each other. Like, hey, what's up, other Jedi ghosts?
Yeah, I mean, that could be interesting as well. So a lot of people think this is the end of the world. We're not going to
Someone needs my advice. I'll be right back, everybody.
Yeah, right. So a lot of people are thinking that this means, it's the end of the run. Star Wars Obi-Wan not actually going to happen. That doesn't seem to be the case. Even Ewan McGregor doesn't think that. He's been doing the press tour for Birds of Prey because he is Roman Sionis, aka the Black Mask in it. And he did an interview where I think it was IGN that caught up to him. And he said everything just slid to next year, that's all. Now that episode 9 came out and everyone at Lucasfilm got more time to spend on the writing, they felt they wanted more time to write the episodes. So Ian McGregor not worried about it. And if you remember, this is a role he's teased wanting to come back to do for years. They've already got the director still on board. It just sounds to me like it's a matter of time until they get back to Star Wars Obi-Wan, and really they just need to get the scripts right. And if that's the case, if you're just cleaning up the scripts to try and make a better product, I'd much rather see that happen than rush something out, because this is not me taking my shot at The Rise of Skywalker. But they had to change a lot of stuff at the end because of the death of Carrie Fisher, things like that, redoing scripts, bringing in J.J. Abrams and his team when Colin Trevorrow was pulled off the project. They did not have a lot of time, and I think it would be fair to say, had they extended the release date a little bit, maybe a year or so, to kind of tighten things up, polish things up, and give themselves more time, it would be a better movie to a lot of people. Not taking a shot, just trying to make a comparison here. Is that fair, do you think, Willie?
You know what? I'm going to let you just have it.
I mean, it falls in line with what we were talking about with the Cyberpunk 2077 game, where I said, if they're delaying it to make it right, I'm okay with that. And that's what it looks like.
One of the most famous, gaming industry lines, which is kind of outdated as of now with, updates being a thing, was Miyamoto said, was it a delayed game is, what was the line? A delayed game is bad once. Released bad game is bad forever. You know what I'm trying to say.
I understand the spirit of what you were saying.
Yeah, he is. It's a famous line. He has said it for the industry. But I mean, with updates, it's kind of, things can change. I mean, look at Battlefront 2, the current Battlefront 2.
Right.
They've done a lot of changes to it, and it seems like to make it for the better. They took away all those loot boxes, and they didn't bring them back, which I'm surprised. Surprised EA didn't mess up their fix-up.
Right. It actually came off pretty well, and there's some other games that I think have gotten better from the original release that are out there. But
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky is notorious for that. Part of what their problem was they promised the world, and they didn't have that already. And had they launched the game that they have now, everyone would be like, this is the greatest thing ever. Look at like the Steam reviews and stuff like that. All of the recent reviews, incredibly positive, versus the original reviews where this isn't what I was promised. Rah, mad.
Well, I mean, it wasn't what it was promised. We were
True.
talking about No Man's Sky from that. So, I mean, I can't be too angry at those people.
I can be mad at anyone. It's a gift.
Yeah, I know. It's also a curse.
So mad at you, Willie.
Oh, we're talking about me?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, then go screw off then, man. I don't want to talk about that.
I was kidding.
Oh, get it.
So that's my news this week. Willie, I'm sure you're thrilled that I talked about Star Wars yet again.
It's all right.
What do you got for us this week, though, sir?
Well, I sent you the picture in this so you can look on with this. This is something that surprised me when this came out. It was put out by IGN. The best-selling video game consoles of all time by units sold. and it has a list and how many units they sold. It's very surprising. For one particular reason, which I'm getting into after this. The top one, not really that surprising, but PlayStation 2 at 159 million units sold. That's the top selling video game console there is. Coming on down next is the DS at 154 million. Then the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. I don't mind them putting those together because Game Boy Color just wasn't that big of an improvement. Just added color, and they could do a little bit better in the graphics. I had a Game Boy Color, so it did all right with 119 million. I mean, of course, that's a lot of Tetrises that came with it too. The next up is PlayStation 4 as the 4th overall best-selling console, which I was surprised about, at 106 million. And then that for the round out the top 5, the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, at 103 million. And here's why I'm surprised. You put it up there. Thank God. I didn't even see that till now.
I just got it working.
Why am I looking at my phone? I can just look at this right here. Yeah, so what really surprised me was if you look all the way down at the bottom. This is not a hit on them. I was surprised. I didn't think it did that bad in comparison. Xbox One is only sitting at 41 million. At the very bottom, it's underneath Switch, even the SNES, and the original Nintendo, the 3DS, which was notoriously known for not doing well when it came out.
But I think 3DS picked up later in its lifespan as part of what happened. As at the beginning, it seemed gimmicky and there wasn't a ton of stuff. And then, as per a typical Nintendo handheld, it just started to sell like gangbusters.
I'll give you that. I bought one, 2 years ago?
Yeah, and remember how many versions there are of the 3DS also?
And I'm still a little angry that mine did not come with a charger for the handheld itself.
Yeah, that was
How
baffling.
am I supposed to charge this? Yeah, this is my first ever DS system, and I can't charge it out of the box. That's like getting a new console and not coming with a power cable.
Right.
Oh, just use your old power cable. Well, how can I play with my old system? Not our problem.
Yeah, the number for Xbox One really surprises me, but
Yeah.
not incredibly so, because we talked about it when it came out at launch, and while I admit that I'm an Xbox One fan and that's my preferred console, the fact of the matter was they didn't quite know what they wanted to be, a game system, an entertainment console.
Oh, no. They knew exactly. That's why they named it Xbox One for all in one. They had an idea.
And then they backtracked on that within a year because that wasn't what resonated with folks. And
the backlash on that was...
Yes. I think it'll be very interesting to see sales numbers for these next generations of consoles. I don't think we're going to see any of those eclipse the PlayStation 2. Let's be honest here.
Oh yeah, because that sold well into the 2000s too,
Right.
like the late 2000s. And I think even some countries are still buying it like in the early 2010s.
I think from an Xbox perspective or Microsoft perspective, if they can get around the sales numbers of the 360 on their next gen one, that's good. But at the same time, I don't know how that's going to work. And we talked about it on this show because they're not doing like console exclusive games for Xbox One Series X for like the first 3 years. They're saying all of these games are going to run on the Xbox One series or family of games.
Yeah, the part that surprised me, not because I'm not fanboying here. I'm just saying I'm surprised, just in general. Like you would probably be surprised. Like PS4 outsold it by over double the amount. That's surprising.
That was what a lot of the industry folks had theorized, is that it might be a 2-to-1 difference between PlayStation 4 and Microsoft.
It's almost 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm just surprised. Like I didn't think Xbox was doing that bad. Well, not that bad. Not bad.
Yeah, and it doesn't help them that now the way they've set things up, they're kind of cannibalizing their own sales by doing all these Xbox One exclusive games also run on PC and stuff like that. So they're basically trying to put their games across on all platforms. So I don't know that their units sold in the next generation is going to be huge or not, because of the way they've set things up. I honestly have no clue. Microsoft has a plan, and I think Phil Spencer's a smart guy, the guy who's heading up the Xbox division. I'm just really curious to see where they go. I don't think we're at a point now where they're going to be like, hey, let's shut down the Xbox line. It's not profitable, because they're making money off of it still. You're muted, sir.
Can't be wrong on that. I coughed and I forgot I didn't
Oh,
unmute.
no worries. But these numbers, they're fascinating. There's no
They
doubt about
are.
that. What's really interesting there is the Switch already at 42 million when it's the youngest out of all of those on there. We know
Oh,
it's been
yeah.
selling well, but that's a positive sign for Nintendo.
It's already outsold the Xbox One, which was out, what,
2000
three years before?
Yeah, I want to say it was like
2015 it came out?
2014, something like that.
I want to say 2015. I want to say. You know what? Google's the thing, but it's all the way over there.
That's fair.
Right beside my leg, and I don't feel like picking it up.
That's fair. We'll just consider it close enough. How about that?
For you audio listeners only, I'm keep looking down beside my leg on my phone as it's just sitting there telling me the time and saying that YouTube is wanting to download incomplete things, which I don't have it ever download anything, so I don't know why it's doing that. Why are you doing that, buddy? Just stop.
It's interesting though looking at this chart though because I'm looking at the consoles I had. I had a Game Boy Color. I had a PlayStation 4. I had a Nintendo Wii. I had a PlayStation 3. I had an Xbox 360. I had a Game Boy Advance. I had an NES. I had an SNES. I had a Switch and an Xbox One. I have most of those systems on there, or had most of them.
Are you saying you didn't have a PS2?
I did not have a PS2.
What? You
I
did
had,
not include?
I had the Xbox
or
OG.
I mean, I got one well after secondhand, so my sell of it doesn't really count as one.
I did not have one. My roommate in college had one. So what would happen is that we would swap back and forth consoles if we wanted to play something out in the living room, and then we both ended up getting Xbox 360s.
What happened with me with the PS2 was that I really needed a better DVD player, one that wouldn't freeze on you, because I was a weird kid. I loved movies, so
Nothing wrong with that.
as a Christmas gift one year, I got a DVD player. I think it was, what year was this? Probably 2000 or 2001. I want to say 2000. Christmas 2000. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, right before 2001. There we go. That's why my memory is a little fuzzy on that.
Oh, Willie, we were so wrong on the Xbox One also.
What do you mean?
November 2013 it came out.
No, I was talking about the Switch.
Okay, so Switch was 2017.
Oh, I know. The Xbox One and PS4 both came out in 2013. I knew that.
So I misunderstood. One of the folks in the chat room was like, I thought the Switch came out in 2017. I was like, Switch, yes, but I thought we were talking about Xbox. So I was very confused here. My apologies.
Let's see, I got my Switch in 2018.
I got mine in 2017, the day it came out.
Oh, so it came out in 2017. Really?
I believe so. All right.
I thought I got 2 years after it came out.
Nintendo Switch release date was March 3rd, 2017. That was the day it came out. I drove through a snowstorm to go pick mine up at GameStop because I'm like, I want to play Zelda.
I wasn't so late in getting a Switch then, huh?
Yeah, you were only a year behind.
A year and a half. Half-sies.
Which isn't terrible.
Yeah, but my original DVD player kind of just kept freezing during movies. And then you would have to stop, turn it completely off, turn it back on, and find that, that time code back, and then hopefully it didn't freeze again on you, which never worked out. So the PS2 was the best of the options coming out, was because it came with a built-in Blu-ray misspeaking, DVD player, and of course it's just a PS2 as well.
The whole reason I had my PS3 was for the Blu-ray player, because it was the cheapest way to get a Blu-ray player at the time, was to have a PlayStation 3.
And it was also one of the better Blu-ray players too, because Ethernet cord can be plugged into it, and or Wi-Fi, whatever. So you can have those updates that doesn't really even matter anymore.
Yeah, right.
You remember when Blu-rays had that thing, where it says like,
BD Live,
where you have like new trailers that will get streamed to your thing on your disc, or from your disc or whatever. And it's like, no, these are still just the old trailers. You never updated these. Like, what is the point of this? Like, why are you telling me this?
They realize there's a thing called YouTube, and if I want to see a movie trailer, I just go there and type in the trailer I want to watch.
I mean, but when it came out in 2006, the PS3,
you could still do that on YouTube back then as well.
Yeah, but I mean, how many people were really using? That was the year YouTube came out as well.
Oh, I know.
So, well, I'm sure you know.
I'm a long-time user of YouTube because that was my cheap entertainment in college.
All right. Who do you think has watched more hours of YouTube, you or me?
Probably you.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's my main form of entertainment nowadays.
I do fall down the YouTube rabbit hole from time to time, and I'm like, I just watched 7 videos in a row by these folks. What the hell was I doing?
You stop at 7?
Well, I keep going, but I'm just like, how did I get here?
Oh, I keep it going, and I keep it going hard. You know what I just watched right before coming to this podcast?
What did you watch right before this?
A History of Gargoyles, the cartoon show.
Nice.
Like the history, like they didn't show much, like do the story or anything. It was mostly like the behind the scenes stuff, like the animators and stuff, like what was going on in the studio at the time, or the company. And it was mildly interesting. I don't think I would ever go back to it or show it to someone, but it was a thing. I don't even remember who did it. I guess I could look it up.
It's in
by
your
going
history,
home.
I'm sure.
That's right here by my leg.
That you just don't
That
wanna
I'm
pick
not.
up.
Yeah, that's heavy, man. That's
I
heavy.
understand.
I don't want to crack it, man. I got these big, strong hands, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might crack that shit.
Well, we don't want you to break your phone. So what we'll do here is we'll find a way to distract you from breaking your phone. We're going to move on in to our next segment of things. One we're bringing back, one of Willie Nelson's favorite ones. So
Oh, here we are
here
now.
we go.
Play that music.
Unprotected Advice with Willie D. Nelson.
I'm protected all the way in, baby.
That's right. We're bringing it back. Unprotected Advice with Willie Nelson. Willie, we've always thought you're great at giving people advice. You don't hold anything back. You just tell it how it is in your mind. So we're going to use that this week.
I have a sexual moral barometer that I use to my advantage.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
You better.
So how does this work? Well, you guys can always tweet us some messages for any advice you might want from one Willie D. Nelson. Otherwise, we tend to troll around on Reddit and find places there where people are asking for advice and use those to kind of throw things over Willie's way to have him suggest, here's how you should handle things in life. And we have a few this week. Depending on time, we may burn through them all. We may do some of them and save others for later. But Willie, are you ready to give your unprotected advice?
I'm always ready and raring to go at a moment's notice. You should know this by now.
Well, let's head on over to the Reddit side of the house then. Our first unprotected advice comes from Turkmenistan. The username 15 minutes ago on r/relationship advice. Girl canceled without rescheduling. We matched in Tinder a few weeks ago and we scheduled a date for tonight. She messaged me a while back saying she has some issues she has to deal with. She didn't offer to reschedule, but she apologized and then we continued talking as is. Thing is, I'll be deployed for 1 month tomorrow onwards and she is aware of my situation. Now I'm thinking if I should just leave her be. Should I ghost for now and message when I'm going back about 2 weeks prior so we don't end up as text buddies? Or should I schedule to meet into the future, but she says she has some issues she's dealing with now, which can mean she isn't ready to meet or is really not interested. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Edit. We stopped talking in Tinder as she deleted her profile and she added me on Facebook. I asked for her Facebook. She deleted when I told her I was deleting. I don't know why. So evidently they're connected on Facebook right now, but what should he do here? This girl's kind of pushed back a little bit on scheduling things. Might not be seeming ready to meet him here. Should he just play it cool and be like, hey, I'm going to be out of town for a month. I'll talk to you when I can while I'm out, and when we get back, maybe sync up?
I'm guessing that last line when they say she deleted when I deleted. I'm assuming they mean Tinder.
That's what I'm assuming.
That's
is
what they're
the Tinder
talking. Yeah.
profile as well. I don't understand Tinder. It didn't exist when I was in the dating circles, so I've never used it. I don't understand how it works. Willie, have you used it? Do you understand the Tinder?
I have used it in the past. Do I understand how it works? I don't know. They done change. I haven't used it in a long time.
I don't know. It didn't exist when I met my wife, so I have no clue.
Well, I mean, you start using it now, man.
Yeah, that'll go really well.
Be in the lifestyle.
Haven't even been married a year, and he's using the Tinder.
Well, I mean, you don't get what I mean by in the lifestyle. If you watched your Letterkenny and, kept with it, you would understand. Why have you slacked off on that? We'll get back to that. Seriously, we need to get back to that because whew, you're on thin ice.
There's a lot
But
of stuff
back
to
to
watch.
the,
That's the problem.
it doesn't matter. We're getting back to this now. All right. So once again, only can go from what their one side, which that's all they can give, right?
That's
Unless
correct.
you get some insight otherwise. I wouldn't say it's ghosting so much as on his end, or sorry, their end. I don't want to assume their gender. I'm not using that as a joke. I'm not sure. But I would say on their end, it's not really so much as ghosting, because it seems like the other person's keeping them at an arm's length. Says she's dealing with stuff now, from what they say.
I mean, I think the key is they both seemingly have deleted their Tinder profiles and are.
I mean, I'm
now,
guessing he hasn't, or they haven't. Keep doing that. Does it explicitly say what their gender
It
is?
does not explicitly say.
All right. So I'm just, I'm just gonna assume it's a he, just because, just so I'm gonna keep messing up, and I don't want to keep apologizing for it. So you know what I mean when I say it.
Yes.
Just for simplicity, that's all. Just simplicity. Yeah, he's also going to be leaving for a month, and she knows that. Jeez, like, come on, what are you doing, girl? Like, why'd you cancel? She must have been dealing with something that I don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. I would say probably just, not cut your losses, but I mean, if she's not going to, attempt to meet you beforehand, maybe make an attempt, and don't be like putting all your eggs in, like, not all your eggs. That's the wrong metaphor, because I'm not saying ask other people out at the same time. I'm just saying don't hedge your bets, I guess. God, why am I always looking for a turn of phrase?
I don't know.
But you get what I'm saying. Like, don't be focused on that. If she does, she does. She doesn't. Go out for your deployment, and then when you get back, if you talk, you talk. If you lost interest, it just loses interest, man. It happens.
That was the opinion I had, was that, hey, you're going to go out of town and just say, hey, I'm going to be away. When I get back, let's see where things go. And worst comes to worst, nothing happens. Best case scenario, you go out, you have a good time with someone you've been chatting with.
Yeah, I mean, that's as much as you can hope for. I mean, so yeah, there's nothing really too wrong here. The other girl's going through some stuff. They're going through stuff. I mean, you just go on, like, people have their mindsets. You go on Tinder anyway, do what you want, whatever. And then you're not really thinking about, like, well, maybe I shouldn't do this because I'm going through all this stuff. You don't think about that. You're just like, okay, and this might make me feel better, but apparently it didn't. So just, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just you just gotta pull with the punches, I guess. Is that the right
Roll
phrase?
with the punches, I think is what you're meaning.
Pull with the punches. Pull with the correct punches. There we go. That's how you say it.
American Liberty on YouTube says, move on, do your thing, find new things in a month. Nothing wrong with that advice either.
I mean, I would say just try at least a month. I say just message, and even if she still blows you off, or like, not blows you up, but No, I was not even meaning it. I mean, like, stands you or cancels, right. like they said already. That's what I was getting at. I was not thinking something. How are you dirtier than I am now, man? We're professionals. This is a professional
didn't do anything
segment.
dirty. What are you talking about?
I heard that laugh.
I was reading in the chat room because I saw American Liberty chime in. Any signs of drama, run. That's what I was laughing about.
I'm not getting drama from. Maybe
either.
they know what her issues were. I don't know. Like, I would say, I guess always if you have like knowledge of it, then, and also you can only really know from what they're saying. But that's my advice. Keep talking with them if you want to. Message them after you get back if you want to. It's all personal choice here, because, and if they just keep, if they blow you off again, then maybe just cut ties. Like, yeah, I mean, we tried. It's all right.
Just
cool.
effectively, hey,
it's done.
it's not going to work out. Let's just keep doing our
Or, ghost them. I'm all right in this case, because it's not like you ever met the person.
So there you go. I'm glad you mentioned ghosting, because that's our next topic we have here. A user on Reddit again says, I was ghosted. So I was dating this girl. We went on a couple of dates together and both seemed to enjoy ourselves. We were also texting a lot. Suddenly, in the middle of a conversation, she stopped replying. Went from having a good time to zero real quick. I texted her once a day after that to see how she's doing. Nothing. Now it's been a few days with no response. I don't want to be too pushy, so I didn't text her again. Now, I know she's all right because we go to the same university and sometimes see her bike on campus. I don't know what to do, honestly. I didn't approach her after ghosting me because I don't want to put her in an uncomfortable situation, but we were going along pretty well, and it's hard to let go of it all of a sudden. What should I do?
Now you know. Look at me. I'm no goddamn George Clooney. I've been ghosted before, and you know what? Yeah, it sucks. But the best thing to do is just stop caring, man. I mean, like it stopped. That it still sucks, but like, psh, oh well. Roll with, or you pull with those punches. I almost said the wrong
with
thing.
The punches. You still said the wrong
Pull
thing.
with the punches.
It's roll with the punches.
That was on purpose.
I tend to agree with you on this one, Willie. You get ghosted.
Yeah.
She's not interested anymore. The best you can do is just let it go and
Yeah, I've been
on.
ghosted before. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, you can actually. I mean, I could tell. I mean, could tell this person just doesn't. They're not all into it. So I was like, all right, whatever. Like, you know, I guess this is mutual ghosting.
It seems really strange that it's like literally the middle of a conversation and then just cut off and nothing. It's weird. It's weird to me. I don't tend to agree with the advice we see from the first commenter on Reddit. It says, next time you see her in person, go ask what happened. People who ghost are assholes, and they can deal with a little discomfort in the form of, hey, what happened? Haven't heard from you.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth
I
it.
wouldn't
That's
even
how I
say
would
it.
look at it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, all the feelings are on one-sided now, and they shouldn't be because who wants that?
I mean, I'm sure it sucks that you were starting to catch feelings for someone and then they just kind of disappeared. That sucks. It sucks a lot. It's terrible, but don't try and go and get answers because you might not like what you find out either.
I mean, it's not. Plus, it's just not. It's not. Sometimes it's not even worth thinking about.
Yeah, just move on.
Yeah, I mean, that's all. I mean, I will give you because I know how I was in my younger days, especially in that age. Like, oh God, did I just say that? Oh, I feel old.
Well, Willie, we are in our almost mid-30s.
Yeah, but to say that phrase, that one hurt. But anyway, oh God, that pain. I was very awkward, and I didn't get too many dates at all. Really, none dates at all, because I know I'm awkward now. But whew, imagine a less experienced Willie. Ooh, it is not too pleasant. Yeah, so I mean, I've been ghosted before after dating a girl for a 1 week and just got ghosted for. Well, we're just told I did something wrong and never found out what that answer was that I did wrong because they wouldn't tell me. So that's ghosted, right?
Yeah, effectively.
And I was around that age, so yeah, it sucks, but just pull with those punches, man. Continue on, moving on. Go to the next.
I will admit, when I was younger, I was the ghoster, not the ghostee, and I sort of feel bad about it occasionally. But it's been years, and stuff happens.
Yeah, I just wouldn't dwell on it. Wouldn't even try and contact them again at all. They just weren't into it apparently, so they weren't into it.
I mean, you go to the same university, so worst comes to worst, if you happen upon each other, just leave it as a simple hi if you're just walking by or something like that, and leave it be.
You know what?
Don't go out of your way to try and force a confrontation.
Oh yeah. Definitely don't. If you do run, I would be even okay with asking. So hey, what happened? If you run like bring it up like I wouldn't mind someone doing with all I said. If you just so happen to run into each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
don't go
hey,
specifically looking for the person to be like, what happened? And get all worked up about it beforehand, because it's obvious that what you thought you had, they didn't think was there, and they moved on, and perhaps not the most ideal way. It sucks for the person being ghosted.
I can only go from what happened to me. I wasn't upset that it happened. I was just super curious as to what happened. Like, what's going on? Did something... I was just more curious in the why than in the that it did.
Right.
So I can understand that curiosity if they have it. Like, so just what happened? I mean, it doesn't matter. Just what happened? You just disappeared in the mid convo.
There's something to be said for learning what happened so that you can try and, if you did something, not do it, have it happen in the future. So like you say on these things all the time, we're only getting one side of the story here. So for all we know, texting wise, they could have been coming on far too strong, something like that, spooked the other person. I don't know.
I mean, when you're Willie, coming on strong kind of works in my advantage. It's part of my charm.
Or go the
I'm not
American Liberty,
lying.
or go the American Liberty route. Hunt them down, get in their face, and yell because I don't care.
Ooh,
Don't
that
go
sounds like
that
an incel thing to do. I'm not calling that person an insult. Not doing that.
Don't actually
I'm
do
saying
that.
that sounds like an incel thing.
I believe that was for comedy purposes.
Oh, I know. I agree with you. That's pretty funny.
And then BSB Ron Dart over on the mixer side of the house says even ladies need a side piece at times. Maybe this guy was a side piece and didn't realize it, and then she went from an uncommitted to committed relationship and had to shut the door. I have no idea. We're just wildly.
It sounds like they didn't
speculating.
really even go on a date. They were just talking. It seemed like.
What did they say here? Let me step back a
Or
sec.
did they say they went on a date?
We went on a couple of dates together.
Oh,
and both seemed
dude,
to enjoy
okay, yeah, I'm dumb.
ourselves. They were also texting a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, maybe it was a side piece then. Yeah, I forgot all about that part. Yeah, I'd be woo. I mean, who hasn't been a little side piece from time to time?
I don't think that I know of.
Chris, do you want to switch lives
No, I'm good.
for a week?
I'm good.
You don't want to live like a Willie for a week?
I would not wish you upon my wife.
I mean, in all fairness, I like you. Nothing would happen.
I was kidding.
I can sleep in the same bed with someone like a gentleman because I'm there for a reason.
I have
sleep.
done so before as well.
I mean, I got all your consoles. Like, she's got her console. Oh yeah, we're good. Like, we're a piece
I'm
of.
gonna come back
Sorry,
and
I'm here
Willie's
for.
gonna have just taken away all my video games and stuff. Like, where'd Willie go? I don't know. He took all your stuff.
Okay, I wouldn't do that because that has happened to me, and it was someone I didn't even know, so I wouldn't want to do that to you. And of course, I wouldn't take your Xbox. You can keep that.
That's
I mean,
fine.
I wouldn't mind playing Sunset Overdrive. I know you got it, right?
I do.
I know you do because I'm in your head.
Ooh. So the first story we had talked about Tinder. Let's go back and talk about Tinder again. And you can also decide whether you want to call bullshit on this story too, because some of the things I find on here I tend to think is bullshit. The title, I matched with a porn star on Tinder and she's actually interested.
Oh no.
I've always been a really nerdy guy. I'm a third-year law student and pretty much have always been focused on school. I used to be fat, but got really in shape by lifting in law school. I guess I'm now considered to be pretty attractive. I started dating people from Tinder. I recently matched with a porn star. It's definitely her. I Snapchatted her and confirmed it. She said she's only looking for a relationship because she already gets sex through work. Should I go for it? I feel like my parents would be pissed with me. Like, I've been a nerdy, shy guy all my life and have only had sex with 3 people before. But she likes me and wants to have coffee soon. What should I do? So first, Willie, do you call bullshit on this?
Oh,
American Liberty calls bullshit in the chat room.
You know what? That's not my job to do. My job is to give advice on what I'm given.
Well said.
So, I mean, I'm going to give advice on what I'm given. If it was me, I'd go for it because, man, life's an adventure, and that sounds like a fun story no matter how it ends, right?
Right.
And and also you're guaranteed she is clean in that regards because
they do have to get tested.
Yep.
Porn
I mean,
stars on a very regular basis.
That's a guarantee more than a normal setting, if you will, right?
Yes.
So that's a positive. So you got great story, even no matter what, if it's good or bad, nothing's gonna happen to you, within that regards, So, just, I mean, why not? I mean, I would see. I don't know if I could. I don't know if definitely not long term, because I mean, that's like being in a polyamorous relationship where you're just with her and she's polyamorous. And that could I'm sure people can handle that. I don't know if I'm someone who can handle that. So that's the one thing that I would have an issue with. But if you can handle it, you can handle it. And you just got to search yourself for that. If you can, go with it.
So we did have a comment from the chat room, BSB_Rondart saying, but she said no to sex. I'm not sure that she explicitly said that there, but the implication was he said, quote, she said she's only looking for a relationship because she already gets sex through work. So she's not necessarily looking for just a friends with benefits or a hookup is the implication I think he's trying to give.
That's the way
that's the way I interpreted it as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's like no sex. It's just you know, this is just platonical, really close friendship. I don't see it as that.
Yeah, I looked at it more as if she was just looking to hook up, she was going to do it through work. Because her
Yeah.
work basically is her getting to hook up.
Hey, make your vocation your vacation. You won't work a day in your life.
American Liberty on YouTube says, if porn stars are as cool as strippers, prepare for some engaging, deeply intellectual conversations.
I mean, I would say it's always dependent upon the person. I
Yeah,
mean,
I do too.
yeah, you could be a smart stripper or porn star. And just, I mean, I'm probably, the average person's the average person.
Yeah, and honestly, my advice, if I had to give it on this one, is I think you might be reading into things a little too, or worrying too much to start with. Worrying about what your parents are going to think, things like that. Right now, she wants to have coffee. She wants to get to know you. If you're interested in the person and you've had interesting conversations or whatnot, go have coffee. Go introduce yourselves in person. Have a conversation. See if you click. See if there's anything there. And then you worry about anything from that point of view. Take the small steps first to trying to figure out if there's even anything there.
And you know what else we're missing here too?
What's that?
Not to be a chauvinistic pig for a second.
Oink, oink.
Which porn star is this? Which porn star is this? Is what I want to know. So we can so I can go like, yes, do that, or I don't know if I do that.
I'm looking through their history right now, and they did not.
I kind of figured.
But
also,
they did
in my
provide
thing,
some additional comments that might help us. They said in the comments, she said she wants sex only when she's in a relationship. She meant she doesn't want to hook up with guys on Tinder because she already does that in porn. So the user did clarify in one of their comments.
And I would also say, I mean, if you already know that too, I'm guessing she knows, or you know what I mean. I would definitely also look it up because I'm kind of curious. I would be curious about what kind of scenes does she do. Like, because some of these things, if you see her prolapsed anus, that's a thing you can never unsee. Yes, I have seen a porn with a prolapsed anus, and it was the most horrifying experience of my life.
Why did we really have to go there on that one, Willie?
Would you not want to know that?
I wouldn't. So here's where I think this would get awkward: is if you do start a relationship with a person. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Is you would then have to grapple with the fact of, are you okay with the fact that your girlfriend or whatever is in that kind of business? Now, I don't mind that if someone wants to do porn, things like that, but I think it would be a different perspective if you were in a relationship with them and you would have to combat your own jealousy and things like that, I would think, to an extent. And that's not me trying to porn shame by like, oh my God, she works porn, blah. It's me saying, I don't know if I could handle it myself just because of the nature of the work, and always be like, oh man, I'm getting in my own head. We're in a relationship that we seem to be committed to each other, but am I no good compared to the folks that she's working with on a daily basis? Things like that. There's a lot of things you would then have to prepare yourself that you would need to confront in your own persona and your own thoughts. Just be prepared, figure those things out. Now, at this point though, go have coffee with her. Go see if there's even anything there, to see if you're worrying for no reason, or the worst case scenario, you go have a cup of coffee with someone you found interesting, have a cool conversation, and you see there's nothing there. Best case scenario, you start a relationship with someone and you've got to figure out how to make it work. But that's what you do with every relationship.
And then I'm also a little curious. I mean, I would also have some questions on that first date too, or maybe not on the first date.
Yeah.
You're trying to equate yourself to the other porn stars that she's working with. Like questions would come up like, do you really like? I mean, is the sex really good during this? Because I mean, it is work. Like you're there. You're like, a lot of it's forced. Like you're putting on an act. It is that is a thing. I mean, so I would be curious. So it's not probably as like, oh, how good are they? The other people in bed compared to me. Just, hey, is this fun and that's not fun? I'm curious. Or I mean, you could probably have fun there. I mean, I don't know. I just questions. Questions pop up in the mind if you get what I mean.
Right, I completely get it. And again, I think this guy might be overanalyzing at this point in time because he's wrapped around the wagon axle that, oh my God, she does porn, and isn't looking beyond that fact. It's like, oh, well, what do I tell my parents? Well, do you really tell your parents when you go and have coffee with someone before you've decided whether you're in a relationship or not? I mean, I might be putting the cart before the horse a little bit there.
I mean, I'm glad you pulled that up too, because I did want to mention that and I forgot about it, and now you reminded me again. Thank you so much. When people look ahead of time too much like that before even a first date, that's you can't do that. Like you just take the first date, see, because you have to, see if you jive with the person in person, because I mean, texting, that's one thing. Even video phone call, FaceTime, whatever. That's one thing. But now we're talking about in person, like, how does this go? Because facial expressions, mannerisms, they all, body language, that is a key factor in all of this. For any, just not for just this, but for any kind of, dating type situation in general. Because I've had people like looking way into the future, like before we even really, went on a single date. They're already looking way into the future. Like, is this really a thing? Like, do I want to, like, it seems like, do I want to waste my time with this? Like, what do you mean waste your time? Like, that's you can't go into something like that, because I don't. I take it as it is, like, as it comes, because things change like that. You find out details and stuff, so you can't, you just got to go for it and take it moment by moment. If it doesn't work out, hey, it doesn't work out. Why would you say it's a waste of time? Because that means you're just, I don't get when people say that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that means you want something instant. You're looking for that instant and forever. You don't get instant and forever. I mean, it's possible, but it's not like it doesn't work. Because, I mean, that's how you get into terrible relationships that you don't want to leave because, hey, I'm already here.
It's fair. American Liberty in the chat room says, dude, why is the question not, can you live up to porn sex?
Oh, because I know I can. That's why. I didn't know this was even supposed to be a question.
Willie's like, I have porn sex every day. I don't know what that means.
Not every day. I mean, true. I mean, in my prime a couple of years ago, yes. Ooh. But we're neither here nor there, because we're in now.
Well, let's go to our last one we have.
It better top a porn star.
I don't know if it's going to, but it gets us off on a slightly more serious note. No pun intended. By saying gets us
yep.
Off.
I got some words already from the title.
Sure,
let's continue.
Yeah, I'm sure we can all put a little insight here. The title is, My Girlfriend Doesn't Want Me Talking to My Exes. I'm quite uncomfortable with this because I'm an extrovert who likes keeping all kinds of relationships and friendships, while my girlfriend is an introvert who cuts communication with all her exes whom she ended in bad terms with. I've been putting off being friends with a recent ex simply because my girlfriend wants me to. It's becoming uncomfortable for me because I'm restricted to doing so. I don't understand why and if it's a valid reason to do so. I think we're old enough to have trust around here. Am I wrong for wanting to see how my exes are doing at least? I'm not even going to talk to them on a daily, I believe he meant to add, basis at the end. So
yeah, I got you. All right, there's already we can stomp this out in one quick thing and then keep on talking about it afterward. But the one best advice is, why are they with you if they don't have trust in you? Done.
I mean, and they kind of get to that fact in there by saying,
oh yeah,
that I don't understand. So to some people, it's a foreign concept. Big, oh my, I'm friends with my exes, but it could often be a lot of cases you're all in the same kind of friend group, things like that. That just because you break up, it's not a terrible breakup. You can be in the same social circle, and you can't really expect to be like, oh, I can't talk to you because my current girlfriend's not cool with. Okay.
Yeah, I know, it makes no sense.
It's tough for me to. I would have a difficult situation there where someone's like, you can't talk to one of your friends. It doesn't matter whether they're my ex or not. I can understand where they might be like, you're friends with your ex? I don't necessarily get that. But so what? If you trust the person, and like this person seems to indicate here, it's not like he's going to go hang out at their house and talk to them daily. It's more, it seems to be implied that it's more of, we might run into each other on occasion or exchange the occasional Facebook message or something like that.
Now, personal story here, that my ex-wife was like that, and I'm trying to rebuild friendships that were pretty much stifled for 5 years. And I've been trying to rebuild them over the last 4 years. Not all, like, they're not nowhere near as strong as they were. And it's not because it was my exes. Like, this was just from people she thought had a crush on me, which wasn't even a thing. So, yeah, so they were just thinking it was something when it was nothing. So, yeah, that's what happened to me. It's no fun. I would say if the other person has no trust in you, then just needs to knock it out.
Yeah.
Because trust is key. Like, if you don't have trust, then what is the relationship then?
Yeah, I see in the chat room BSB_Rondard said, if you're not happy, peace out. And that's how I would look at it here is
Yeah.
have a conversation with your girlfriend. Be like, look, yes, we may have dated at some point in time, but we are together now. Just because I know her and still talk to her in some way, shape, or form, it doesn't mean that I want to be with them. We broke up for a reason, because maybe in part it's kind of her own insecurities that are coming into play here. Maybe she's run into a situation in the past where she was with a person who was still friends with an ex and somehow something rekindled there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and I was able to be friends with my exes for a while too, because I mean, a lot of them didn't end on bad terms. And there was a couple of them, or one or two that did, but the majority of them like didn't end on bad terms. I mean, not like I can continually talk to them and they're not like friends, but I mean, if they messaged me and said, "Hey, what's up?" It's like I'm gonna have a problem with it. Like, "Hey, what's going on?" Well, I wouldn't be like I'm trying to get in your pants or anything like that. But like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?"
I think it would be a different story, and maybe we don't have the whole picture. We've only got one guy's side of things. For all we know is if his ex is still all flirty and stuff with him, maybe I could understand a little bit where his current girlfriend would be uncomfortable with it. But if it's literally just as he describes of, hey, we're just sort of still in each other's lives, conversation occasionally, things like that, I don't see the big deal.
Or what if their exes are a part of their friend group, like their normal friend group?
Yeah, like we were talking about there. Like if it's something like that, I don't understand the concern. I mean, I'm not discounting the fact that she might have a concern of some kind, but I don't get it. But if it was a matter of maybe the ex and he are still flirty or weird, I could see where the current girlfriend might be like, look, I don't want you hanging out with her because you're not in a relationship with her anymore and you're acting like you are, kind of thing. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's old sweet treats. You're new sweet buns. I mean, but once again, if she won't trust you, then where is this relationship even going to go?
Right. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being friends with an ex-girlfriend, assuming things, or an ex-significant other, assuming things ended on a amicable split where there's not hard feelings or cheating or some kind of thing there that causes contention.
Yeah, like, hey, we just found out we weren't for each other. Like, we kind of got on each other's nerves like that, but we're friends. So it worked. Yeah, like, just like it works like that, just like you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, adding in all that other stuff, nah. But this, yeah. Once again, if you don't have the trust, what's the point?
I can't disagree with you there, Willie.
Simple, to the point. That's all you really need for this advice. But you got some extra that, some fun, good times.
That's true. And
just like every relationship should have.
That's true. And I think we've potentially...
I meant sexy good times.
Thank you. I think we've potentially helped 4 people here today. We've given some solid advice between Willie's unprotected advice, some stuff I could chime in, and some really good comments from our chat room, both on YouTube and Mixer side of the house. So,
do you think any of these people actually hear this?
Well, I mean, I could post the link to it in the relationship advice stuff. I don't know that I necessarily want to.
That's fair. But
I think as a listener or a contributor to the show, there are many of us that may have been in similar situations before or may find ourselves in one or could be going through one. And I think you can kind of glean some lessons or some thoughts on how you would proceed with your life based off of the advice that we give here.
Listen, Willie's your best pal here. I'm just trying to lay down some truth on your asses. That's all.
There you go.
I'm your friend. I'm looking out for you, buddy. Get your dick wet or get someone to dust your wets, whatever you want.
And on that note, I think we have wrapped up this installment.
Oh, really? We have to do that?
Unprotected Advice with Willie D. Nelson.
Unprotected all the way in, baby.
Look, I'll be honest, this is just one of my favorite bumps I've ever made for any of our podcasts. So I played it a second time to go out because it is purposely corny. I tried to find the most corny music I could find that was Creative Commons licensed, and that was it.
By design. Actually, you know what? I've actually heard that on like a YouTube thing or two. I'm like, this sounds familiar. Oh, yeah.
Because it's unprotected advice. And I believe I used the Microsoft voice editor with text-to-speech to basically do the voiceover work for it. So it was a fun one.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed it when you first showed it to me. I was the second person. Was I the second person ever to see it?
So.
No, your wife didn't see it first.
No, she saw it after you did.
How'd she like it?
She thought it was funny.
Does your wife think I'm creepy?
No.
Really? I'm surprised.
She doesn't watch the show. Let's keep that in mind.
Oh, that's probably for the best. Oh, I understand that too. None of my friends listen to the show either.
She knows
you. Hear me, assholes? Oh, that's right. You can't because you don't listen to the show.
She knows you from the guy that was hosting party games on his Twitch channel.
Oh yeah. Oh, she was jumping in on that.
Yeah, she was playing some of those
forgot
games.
about
Yeah.
that. It was a long time ago, man. I haven't been able to stream it forever.
That's what she knows you from.
God, I wish I could do that more because Jackbox 6, all those games are good. Well, but you really need people in the same room for press the button.
Yeah, I think so.
You can't do that online because it's pretty much Secret Hitler. Secret Hitler is a tabletop game where it's pretty much like the werewolves thing is similar. Where that's I'm not just saying Hitler for no reason.
Yes, I've played Secret Hitler. It is a fun game.
Are we now on a German list for no-goes?
I don't think so.
Because I know how serious they take that stuff.
I don't think we are, but hey, if we are, whatever.
Listen, man,
we're already
context
banned
is
in
king.
China, so what's it matter?
Who cares about Winnie the Pooh over there?
You beat me to it.
Because I'm Eeyore over here.
That is true. Looking at the time, we do need to start shutting down
well.
this installment of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. If you guys enjoyed
If you
Unprotected
say
Advice,
so.
we have done it previously. If you go to our archives over at atgnpodcast.com, on the sidebar, you can click on the Unprotected Advice category, and we'll take you to every episode we've done this segment. I think this is either the third or fourth time. Actually, it might be more than that. We've done Unprotected Advice a few times.
We've been around the block a time or two.
Just a few times. And we'll probably do it again here in the future because
we're going to circle around that block multiple times, baby.
I'm trying to get our website load to tell me, but for some reason it's loading incredibly slowly.
It's because internet's a thing.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out later. I'll chime in at the end of the show and let you guys know how many episodes it is. But
listen, man, I just show up and give great advice. That's all I do every week.
Sure. We do need to shut this thing down, but before we shut down the show, we wrap up each installment of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast with a little segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and or nerdy things we've been getting into so that you might want to go and check them out yourselves. And I will kick things off this week, and we'll let Willie then wrap up the show with what he's been into. What have I been getting into? What's Willie going to be disappointed about me for? Well, I started playing some Xbox games again.
All right, that's all right.
I've started playing a game that's not Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, you need backlog, man. Figure it out.
I started playing an online shooter that Bachman really likes that we made fun of him for playing so much of. Are you starting to figure it out?
Go on.
Willie, I started playing Anthem because I figured I should finally give it a try. You're not going to scold me?
I don't need to. You're scolding yourself by playing it.
So I believe I talked about on this show, it was around Black Friday or something like that, or one of the Cyber Monday deals. They had a brand new copy of the Legion of Dawn edition of Anthem at GameStop for like $8. So I bought it and said I'll give this a try at some point in time. And I started giving it a try on Saturday because we weren't doing much around the house. And it's all right. I'm having a difficult time with it right now because there's not a ton of people playing online, so there's a lot of loading screens while it tries to do matchmaking, and I'm not actually getting a ton of people in matchmaking with me to do the missions. But I've enjoyed the gameplay a lot in there, and I know they've tweaked a lot of things and done a lot of ways of making the HMIs work better so that you're not clicking through as much stuff. I'm having fun playing the game. I'm not having as much fun waiting for the game to load matchmaking, to load the world map, trying to find the missions and walk around the Fort Tarsis because you can't run, so you just walk everywhere and there's no quick jump to anything. So you spend a lot of time just meandering around. But the gameplay, it's fun. I've enjoyed it. I enjoy flying around in a giant suit of armor, seeing a guy on the ground that I need to attack and like dropping a friggin' hammer on him as I fly out of the sky and melee attack. So I'm surprised to say I'm having fun with it. Now, maybe it's also because I spent $8 on the game, so my expectations are a lot lower than, say, Bachman, who bought the Legion of Dawn edition at launch that I think was like $70 or $80. I think that might influence me. And You're Only God in the chat room says, Anthem is fun when it lets you log in. I haven't had any problem with that currently, but I don't think there's a ton of people playing Anthem anymore is part of the problem. I don't think we're going to see any more content changes, things like that. It's still doing its Christmas-themed stuff in-game in Fort Tarsis. There's like Christmas lights up and it's snowing in the social hub. So they haven't done an update to remove the Christmas stuff yet. So that might be a sign that Anthem's remaining life is not long for this world. I don't know. I've had fun with it, but again, I paid $5 for it. So that might explain a lot of it. Willie, are you still judging me?
No, I don't judge you. I'm just saddened.
Willie, I was wrong. We've done 6 episodes of Unprotected Advice previous to this. I just found out.
Hey, when the good times keep a rolling, why would you want them to stop?
We did like 4 in a row, though. That's why it all blurred together. The last time we did Unprotected Advice was in October 2019 with episode 377. The title of the episode was called Slot Maxing.
Oh yeah, that came also from Jackbox.
Yep, that came from
the
Jackbox.
Dictionarium.
And then previous to that had been in September, where we did an episode called Expert Level Advice. So we hadn't done it in a while. We need to keep it more in our rotation of doing it at least once a month or once every 2 months, I think.
You think? I mean, I'm good for once a month, if not twice a month.
Ooh, so
my refractory period is very short on this baby.
Gross.
Refractory period? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, gross. So let's go back to what I've been getting
resetting
into.
period.
I've been playing Anthem a little bit. Also been playing Pokemon on my Switch during the week because that's easier to do. And I am pleasantly surprised by the fact I was having battery issues with my cell phone, which is still under warranty with Google. And reaching out through their customer support, they helped me troubleshoot, figured out that it seems like it's a hardware issue, and are replacing my phone under warranty. So I'm pretty pleasantly surprised with how well that worked out. So kudos to you, Google support. You did me a solid. Other thing I've been getting into, Thursday night, CBS All Access was episode 1 of Star Trek Picard. I signed up for 5 weeks free, basically, with this initial promo that I had. And hot damn, it's really good. It's a really good sci-fi show, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I'm really curious to see where they go with things. In this first episode, they kind of reveal the importance of some of the characters we see in the trailers, and they kind of explain, well, not kind of, they do explain why Picard left Starfleet. And you kind of agree with his reasoning, and you still see why Jean-Luc Picard has a certain moral certainty to him that you find yourself emphasizing with, and why the Federation might be wrong in some of what they've done. It's a really good show. I enjoyed it a lot. Do not go into it thinking it is just a continuation of Star Trek The Next Generation, because it is not that. But it's a good show, and I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to the rest of this season.
And it's also not like Patrick Stewart aged in the last 30 years or anything.
Right. In fact, if I read the interview correctly, they actually have Picard older than Patrick Stewart is in the show. Patrick Stewart's 79 and Picard's close to 90, I think is what I'd read in one of the shows.
The future looks good.
Future looks good. And they do a good job also of not making it seem like Jean-Luc Picard's some super crazy action hero that can do anything. Because at one point in time, he and a character by the name of Daj are being chased, and she's trying to run up a flight of stairs with him, and he's like, you see him slowing down, like, oh God, taking a deep breath, like, I can't do this, you need to slow down. And you're like, okay, this kind of makes sense. You're talking about a character who in the show is supposed to be either 80 or 90, with an actor who is also close to 80. It wouldn't make sense for him to be like, I'm running up these stairs like it's no big problem. So they are playing faithful to the fact that the character has aged to a point where being super physical all the time probably is not an ideal thing. If you enjoy Star Trek, or it might be worth checking out. If you enjoy good sci-fi shows, I think this is going to be one of those good sci-fi shows. There's a lot of different mysteries to be resolved, and it ends introducing one of the things that everyone was trying to figure out, because the episode ends with a Borg cube, and you're like, what the hell is going on? I have no idea. I got to wait until next week to figure it out. And and it has already been renewed for a season 2.
I mean, I'm not really a Star Trek fan. That's one thing. I haven't really looked anything up or anything. I don't know any stories or anything for any Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek. Sorry. I mean, I can only say I'm sorry, but it's whatever.
Hey, if it's not your jam, it's not your jam. There's no problem with that.
Give me some Firefly.
Oh,
That's what I want.
I would love some more Firefly.
Give me some Captain Mal.
American Liberty in the chat room says, I don't remember Picard doing much running in TNG. That is correct. They did sort of turn him into an action hero in some of the movies. When you go to like First Contact and Insurrection, he started like doing a bunch of like climbing up walls and running around with phaser guns and stuff like that. So
You know what I would like to see?
What's that?
I want to see Patrick Stewart get in shape for this. Like, damn, Patrick Stewart got a little muscle on him. Go, Picard, punch
sure
this.
He does have a little muscle on him. He's been
punch the shit out of that Borg.
He's been on the press rounds for Star Trek Picard, and it looks like he's been having a blast as well.
I want to see Picard as buff as The Rock.
That would take a lot of steroids for a man Patrick Stewart's age to get that jacked.
Are you saying you don't want to see that?
No, I don't.
No, you. Why not? That would be cool. Set phasers to my fist. Yeah, see? It writes itself.
Well, that's what I've been getting into. Willie, what have you been getting into, sir?
Not really a whole lot of much this whole past week, except for Friday night when I ventured to Raleigh because my buddy Phil, he said, hey, do you want to go see this comedy show at Good Nights in Raleigh, which is like, a comedy place? I was like, oh, I do like this person. I know of him. His laugh is infectious as all hell. And I'm surprised he lost a lot of weight because I haven't really seen much of anything about him because I don't really look up a lot of comedy, like that, stand-up comedy really. But I was interested in seeing it, so we went and saw Ron Funches. I'm sure you know who Ron Funches is, Chris.
He's hilarious.
He is, and that laugh is not infectious.
His laugh is so distinctive too.
Yeah, I know, that's why I love it so much. It was good. The stand-up was good. The opener was amazing as well. They both had top-notch quality. So I had mucho fun Friday night. And then when I picked up my buddy Phil to drive, I drove both of us to Raleigh, which is about an hour and a half away. Not to say that we live in a podunk town or anything. It's just, North Carolina. The two big cities are Charlotte and Raleigh. The city I'm in is the third largest city right after those, and it's right in between them. It's an hour and a half to either one because one's east and one's west. But yeah. So we drove over there and we stay. And on the way, he reminds me, like, hey, so what time are you going to be over at our other friends tomorrow for the party? And I was like, there's a party tomorrow? Oh, yes, I forgot. I said I was going to this thing. I forgot all about it. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, so, and also last night, a friend was throwing a I Miss Your Faces party, get together. And so we just played some games. When I got there, they were playing the Mr. Meeseeks game. I think I played only once. I can't remember how it gets played. It was a long time ago. It comes in a box where it has a little button on top. You can press it, and it's a couple different sayings. I'm Mr. Meeseeks, look at me! Stuff like that. And then for the first time ever, we played Quiplash. But here's the little caveat. Quiplash 2 on the Jackbox 3, I want to say, you can make your own prompts. So for the first time ever, I made some prompts.
Cool.
I customized it too. I mean, this is also from like 3 years ago. So, but I did customize it to being, or was it technically 4 years ago? Doesn't matter. Yeah, so I made it personalized with some people that were there, and also personalized the questions like who in the room, who who would you trust in the room to help you hide a body? And of course, I only had one answer for that, which that was the one bad thing about that is because a lot of people can jump on there and make prompts, but it was mostly just me making 20 of them and one person making 4 of them. So we only got to play like 2 matches with it because there was a lot of people playing, and it gets hard to try and come up with some prompts, within that little bit of time beforehand. You're trying to come up with stuff. And of course, my answer for who would I help in the room to help me hide a body, I said everyone. More hands mean less work. That's your Letterkenny reference. Although, Chris, I know you don't get it because you haven't watched enough.
I haven't watched enough. I am a failure when it comes to watching Letterkenny.
You're a failure of a comedy fan. I had a video game fan, Mr. Anthem.
Whatever.
I don't even think Bachman still plays Anthem. Played Anthem this week.
Well, he plays a lot of Dead by Daylight and.
I know. I'm there.
What's the other one you guys are playing?
Apex. I know he plays a lot of. Yeah, Guy can tell you that. I played some Apex. I guess it didn't even the past couple weeks. Only because friends play it, so I'm jumping in every now and then. I'm not good at it, so I always feel like I'm dragging the team down because there's only a 3-person team at most. So it's a lot. You have to shoulder a lot of it. It's not like an Overwatch when it's 6-person. Like as long as you're playing your role, you're doing good. Like you're staying alive. You're not really But in this, it's a lot on you, a lot on the other people, just a lot on everyone all around, and I always feel terrible. I've only won 3 times, a lady. So there's that. I'm not that good. Yeah, so we played the Jackbox, the Quiplash, and we played some other Jackbox games. It was just a fun time. Giving people goodbye hugs. You know how I do. I pick them up and, shake them around.
Shakes them.
I did you.
He did do that to me. You did not do me.
You don't know what I did with her in that hug. One of us had a finish and didn't wear a condom. You might be pregnant still.
Dude, that was years ago when we last saw each other. So
hey, sperm can last a while inside someone's body. I know it's not that long. It was just a dumb joke. I'm sorry.
You're good, man. You're good.
Nah, I feel bad. It was a dumb joke.
I'm not going to judge you for your humor.
What are you going to name our child?
Willie Jr.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What if it's a girl? Wilma Jr.?
Wilhelmina Jr.
I like it better. Let me see. And then came back home last night, passed out. Now I'm here. Watched the Gargoyles thing right before coming onto the show.
I am not going to judge you. I love the Gargoyles.
Yeah, I mean, it was who is the creator of the Batman animated show? Tim something?
Paul Dini and...
the Tim, or the artist behind it is Tim something.
Oh, crap. I know who you mean.
Yeah, the whole point is, because I can't remember, they showed like a quote from him. He did not like the Gargoyles when it was on then. I forget what exactly the quote he said, but it was like, he's trying to throw shade on Gargoyles.
Gargoyles was awesome. Keep streaming it on Disney Plus. Maybe we'll get more. That's all I got to say.
I don't want new Gargoyles. I want them to go back and just make more. Let's not do the the Goliath Chronicles. Let's not do more of that because that was terrible. That was the 3rd season. That was where they changed up a lot of stuff. Let's not get more of that. Let's get more of season 1, season 2. Let's follow that directly.
I do believe Keith David said he'd come back.
Oh man, that man has a voice.
I know, right? I wish my voice was half as good as his.
I mean, I can kind of get there a little bit, but I'm not going to go all the way Keith David because not all of us can pull it off.
That was like 3% Keith David.
And I'm all right with that. 3% Keith David makes women about 57 miles away, all within that radius, soaking. Even guys, too. Get a little bit of that pre-nut butter.
Right.
I thought I was going to get a better reaction from you, but... I mean, you know what? Here. I can hear the ghost of Bachman. Yeah.
Well, Willie, before we shut this thing down, did you have any final thoughts you wanted to share with our live audience?
Squeezing butts and hugging nuts. Life's a living, and go on do it.
Yeah, sure.
And hey, nothing wrong with a little casual dick jerking.
Well, friendly reminder, as Willie puts it out there, we do stream this show live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over on Geeks.live. That is the official streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. We also use the Restream app to rebroadcast on Periscope, Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, and there's probably other stuff I'm forgetting. So if you're watching us on one of those platforms, thank you so much for joining us. We do have the chat room consolidated to hopefully be able to reply back to you guys while we're doing it. I think we're about wrapped up as far as I know. Bachman should be back next week, and we can tell him I'm playing Anthem to give him some hope, and then crush his hopes sadly when I remind him it's on the Xbox.
All you gotta do is
Bachman.
flip a switch and it's cross-platform.
Well, that is the truth, but they are not going to do it. On that note, though, we are going to shut this thing down, and we will see you all next week for more ridiculousness and shenanigans, and maybe some unprotected advice.
Oh yeah, shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.